I have to start by talking about the sheer, unadulterated devastation that just unfolded within the pristine walls of the Dupree mansion. We all knew that Danny Dupree's secret elevator hookup with Bill Hamilton during the terrifying tornado was a ticking time bomb, but the way it finally detonated has left me completely speechless. When Danny stood in front of her parents, Anita and Vernon, and tearfully admitted that she still harbors deep, undeniable love for her ex-husband, the tension was already suffocating. But for Andre Richardson to walk in at that exact heartbreaking moment, my heart absolutely shattered. I felt the crushing weight of his entire world collapsing in real time. The look of pure, agonizing betrayal on his face is something that will be burned into my memory for a long time. It makes me wonder, how much more psychological torment can this man take before he completely breaks? Dani desperately tried to backtrack, of course. She frantically tried to explain away her lingering feelings as a temporary lapse in judgment, a fleeting emotional response brought on by the severe psychological trauma of the tornado. She claimed it was just panic, a trauma bond forged in the dark of that stalled elevator when they thought their lives were over. But let us be brutally honest here. Andre is not a fool, and neither are we. He refused to accept her flimsy, desperate excuses, and rightfully so. Seeing him turn his back on his wife and walk out into the raging rainstorm was a cinematic masterpiece of soap opera tragedy. He left Dani standing there, forced to face the overwhelming contempt and disgust of her own family. So this makes me wonder, is this the definitive end of their fairy tale romance, or just the beginning of a much darker, more twisted chapter in their lives? Anita's reaction was nothing short of legendary, and frankly, it was exactly what Dani needed to hear. As the fierce matriarch of the Dupree family, Anita has survived breast cancer and fought tooth and nail to keep her family's legacy pristine and respected. To see her daughter actively pining for a man who spent years deceiving, manipulating, and gaslighting her was the ultimate slap in the face. Anita's disappointment was palpable, radiating through the screen with incredible intensity. She didn't just scold Dani, she actively kicked her out of the Dupree mansion, demanding that she take a long, hard look at her crumbling moral. But that is not all. Anita and Vernon delivered a ruthless, unyielding ultimatum that literally made me gasp out loud. The ultimatum was brutal and brilliant. Anita and Vernon told Dani that she must completely sever all ties with Bill Hamilton immediately and enter intense psychological therapy to salvage her marriage with Andre. If she refuses, the consequences are absolute. She will be entirely disinherited, stripped of her wealth, and her name will be permanently erased from the prestigious Dupree Heritage Foundation. This is a massive power play by her parents. They are hitting Dani where it hurts the most, her status, her financial security, and her legacy. My theory is that this ultimatum will actually push Dani further into a corner, causing her to act even more erratically. When a Dupree is backed against a wall, they do not surrender. They scheme and they fight back. Meanwhile, over at Garland Memorial Hospital, the drama surrounding Bill Hamilton's near-death experience is reaching a fever. After collapsing in his office from what we all know as Hayley's slow burn poison, Bill underwent emergency surgery to implant a pacemaker. But the real shocker came when he finally regained consciousness. Out of all the people he could have asked for, out of all the words he could have spoken to the medical staff, he called out Dani's name. And he did it right in front of his current wife, Hayley. The sheer audacity of this man is astounding. I can only imagine the boiling, venomous rage bubbling beneath Hayley's fake, doting wife. This singular moment has effectively pushed Bill and Hayley's marriage to the absolute brink of destruction. Hayley has been meticulously plotting to murder Bill in the Caribbean and collect his $10 million life insurance policy, but this public humiliation might just accelerate her lethal timeline. She has already been slipping untraceable poison into his green smoothies, masking it as a heart-healthy intervention. Now that she knows definitively that Bill's heart still belongs to Dani, Hayley has absolutely nothing left to lose. I suspect she will become reckless and incredibly dangerous. Will she try to finish the job while he is still vulnerable in his hospital bed? Or will she redirect her lethal intentions toward Dani out of pure jealousy? Hayley is a cornered snake, and she is about to strike with deadly precision. But let us pivot back to the most mysterious and thrilling storyline of them all, Andre Richardson's rapid descent into paranoia and chaos. After fleeing the Dupree mansion in the storm, Andre's stalker escalated their psychological warfare to a terrifying degree. He received a final, chilling text message from the unknown number. She never belonged to you. This message broke him completely. Driven to the edge of madness by Dani's betrayal and the relentless stalking, Andre makes the shocking decision to disappear without a single. He leaves behind a suicide note, plunging the entire Dupree family into a state of absolute chaos and mourning. However, I am not buying this tragic narrative for a single second. My theory is that the suicide note is a brilliantly crafted decoy. Andre is not dead. He is going completely off the grid to confront the terrifying demons of his past. And the timing of this disappearance perfectly aligns with the massive, jaw-dropping revelation at Up. Just as Andre is preparing to leave Dani and his life in Fairmont Crest behind, his stalker officially steps out from the shadows. And who is it? An ex-lover from France! This completely blew my mind and changed the entire trajectory. We have known for weeks that the anonymous gifts, like the 2018 Louis Broussard champagne, were tied to his time in Europe, but to see her finally emerge from behind those potted plants at the club changes everything we thought we knew about Andre. But here's where the plot thickens into an absolute masterpiece of suspense and intrigue. This French ex-lover is not just a scorned woman holding a petty romantic grudge. She is deeply, intimately connected to Heather Armstrong's international crime syndicate. Yes, the Impaler herself. We know Heather operates her massive plasma ring and red market out of London and Europe. It makes perfect sense that she would have operatives or associates tied to Andre's European past. This French woman threatens to expose a devastating, world-shattering secret about the death of Andre's parents. We were always told they died in a tragic plane crash. But what if it wasn't an accident at all? What if Andre's parents were murdered by the syndicate? Or worse, what if Andre himself was somehow complicit or involved in the cover-up? The French operative delivers her own ruthless ultimatum to Andre. He must return to her, abandon Dani forever, and likely rejoin their European organization, or the dark, sinister truth about his parents' demise will be broadcast to the world. This completely recontextualizes Andre's entire character arc. He has always played the role of the perfect, supportive, unconditionally loving husband, the moral high ground compared to the cheating, lying Bill Hamilton. But now we are seeing the massive cracks in his. He has been hiding a dark, criminal past this entire time, playing the role of the innocent photographer while harboring secrets that could destroy lives. And trust Dani Dupree to never let a crisis go to waste. Through her own relentless snooping and desperation, Dani uncovers the truth about Andre's dark past in the presence of the French. Instead of offering him the grace and understanding she so desperately wanted for herself, Dani weaponizes this information. She uses Andre's hidden secrets as an impenetrable shield to justify her own monumental mistake with Bill in the elevator. It is a masterclass in toxic manipulation and self-preservation. She essentially tells Andre that he has no right to judge her for a moment of weakness when his entire life has been built on a foundation of European lies and syndicate ties. This creates a terrifying, inescapable vortex for the couple. They are locked in a toxic, destructive stalemate. They cannot leave each other because their lives, their dirty secrets, and their public images are too deeply intertwined. But at the same time, they cannot forgive each other. Dani's heart is hopelessly fractured between two men, and Andre is tethered to a criminal past he cannot outrun. The psychological warfare between them is going to be incredibly intense. It is no longer a marriage built on love and mutual respect. It is a marriage of mutually assured destruction where both hold the detonator to the other's life. This explosive revelation is going to drag the entire Hamilton family into a ruthless, unforgiving legal and personal war. Bill, now fully aware that Dani's marriage is a fragile house of cards, will undoubtedly use his immense legal resources, his sharp intellect, and his vast wealth to destroy Andre. Bill has always been a shark in the courtroom, and now he has the perfect motivation to tear Andre's life apart piece by piece. He will want to expose Andre's European syndicate connections to the authorities, hoping to win Dani back permanently and send his rival to prison. Meanwhile, Hayley will be caught in the crossfire, realizing that her husband is spending his remaining days and his fortune fighting to win back another woman. As we look ahead to the next few weeks, the questions are endless and the anticipation is agonizing. Will Andre succumb to the blackmail and return to Europe with his French ex-lover, leaving Dani to fall back into Bill's waiting, albeit trembling, arms? Will Smitty's relentless investigative journalism uncover the hidden link between Heather Armstrong, the French stalker, and the plane crash that killed Andre's parents? And most importantly, can a marriage built on such profound deception, infidelity, and criminal secrets ever truly survive the storm? I, for one, cannot wait to see how this incredible high-stakes saga unfolds. The gates of Fairmont Crest have never held so many dark, delicious secrets.